Hey, how you doing? And welcome to another episode of Technology Tuesday. I'm here with the host, Jerry Franklin Poe, and I'm the other host, Mr. Greg Russell, and we're excited to share with you some resources, tools, and tips and training to show you how to create systems to grow your business to seven figures and beyond. And today is going to be one of the most exciting episodes because I've been told that people love when I share tools and resources, so I'm going to have some tools and resources that you guys will absolutely love. So we're going to dive right in. We're going to get started right now.
That's right, folks. We are glad to be back again for another Technology Tuesday where we're bringing you systems to lead you on that seven-figure path. Real tools, real systems to give you the real solutions for your business.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Well,
Now,
listen.
Greg, I know you've been in the lab working on some things. You had sprinkled a little bit of the nuggets behind the scenes to me, and I know you're super excited about this um, tool, this software for some people who've been around long enough, right? This is our, I don't know, it's lost count the number of years, 6 years,
Yes,
right? six
sir.
years. You may have heard of this, but see, some of these programs, some of these softwares, they get updated, they get changes. Uh, AI has taken a more important role, and we understand the vital skill sets that are needed from an AI perspective in order to be able to utilize these tools to maximize. I mean, anybody can use AI, but not anybody can use it effectively. Not everyone is using AI effectively.
That's right. Well, listen, you are right, man, because I shared this tool about a year and a half to 2 years ago in one of the episodes, and I talked about it maybe one other time. But this tool has grown, and it was really really good when but it only got better. So I am going to share with you guys a tool that has to do with creating content in a very unique way, other than what everybody else is doing and how everybody else is doing it in a very unique way. So I am going to jump into the desktop and share that with you guys right now. All right. So listen, there's a tool that some marketers have been using to create content that is different than almost anything else that others have been sharing and using. This one allows you to basically use AI in a most unique way to create a different, no, to create a version of you so that it can create content not only to sound human, but actually sound like you and even think like you. So I'm going to share with you this tool and show you how it works. So we're going to jump over to the desktop, and this tool is called Pressmaster. It is Pressmaster AI. And how it works is it allows you to basically interview. AI will interview you to get the things that it needs to create its content. So I'm going to pull this up and share and make sure you guys can understand exactly how it works. So I zoomed in here so you guys can pretty much see it. And basically how it works is it's designed to help create thought leadership articles, not just any type of content, but thought leader content. And so basically when you first get into the account, you're going to have to go through some setup process. Now that setup process is really cool because it allows you to get interviewed so that the content that you create around anything else will come from the foundation of you from your interview, your way of speaking, how you would respond. The interview asks you about 30 to 40 questions, and it really allows you to get yourself inside of this system so that it can create content for you. So I'm going to click around here and show you some things. I know that if I just wanted to create an article, I could do that, but I'm thinking I'm going to try to go back to where the settings are and show you how to set up the interview where it interviews you. So in the settings of something called the brand guide, okay? And so here is where you can create a brand voice. This is the thoughts, this is the things that make your brand you. And so basically, you would hit this brand voice, and then you could do this advanced discovery. We're going to say 5 to 10 minute interview that captures how you think and speak and turns it into your brand voice. So you can do it more than one. And this is what makes this unique, because it's not just creating content based on all the things in AI. It's actually based in content on you. So this interview is really, really good. It's you just talk to it like a regular person, just like I'm talking to you now, and it will ask you the questions, and you just answer the questions. And it's a really cool back and forth kind of conversation. So I think I'm going to try to just do a demo here, just to see if we guys can if we can hear it, and we'll just start the interview and see. I just want to give you guys a taste of what this is like. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so I think we'll hit the thing here, and it's going to use the microphone. And I think we hit start interview. Oh, I'm using the microphone already, so it's not going to let me to do that. Accept the truth. Let's just say if we say A. Okay, so it's going to start this. It asks you several questions before, and I'm not even reading them. I'm just putting them in here just so you guys can see it. It asks you these questions so that it can get your brand voice, and then it will do a actual interview where it's talking to you. So this is kind of how you set up your specific unique brand voice. And once you have that in there, when you're ready to create content, it will allow you to just basically like create an article, and then you can tell what the article is about, right? And it will give you some ideas based on the trending themes in the industry and topics that you already told that you were interested in. And so basically, if you click right here, I'm just selecting one just so you can see how this starts. And it's asking me for the topic. So I selected one that it was suggested, and it is going to then outline this content. So it's telling you the type of content that it's going to create. It's going to create a thought leadership article. It's going to analyze industry trends. You can choose whether it's a long or short article. So this is giving you all these things that it's going to do, and you can change these if you want to, right? So if you can change, you want a short article or a long article. You can change all of these that you want. The brand voice, I've already created mine. But if you created a different one, you can have that there. Whether it's first person or third person, you can do that there. And then you can do whether you wanted to just do a quick article on this topic, an adaptive where it's chatting with you back and forth, or you can have the conversational where it will actually speak to you. So if I hit this, it should start this conversation for this article. And so it's getting the strategy ready for the article. And it is identifying the central argument. And so in just a second, it should start a conversation back and forth with me about how I feel. It's going to ask me certain questions about this. Right now, it's giving me the outline, right? So it's going to give us the intelligence email, what you're actually buying when you run platform ads. It's telling us all this stuff. And now it's asked, so you can see here the outline of the article that it's going to create. And then if you're ready, you can change some of these if you want, but if you're ready, you can just hit approve and continue. Now it's going to start the conversation. So I'm hoping this will pick this up when it starts. It should.
Okay, great. Glad we could connect and get started on this article topic about walled gardens. I'm interested in hearing your perspective on how walled gardens are impacting customer intelligence. To start, could you share your observations about the current digital landscape and what you see as the key problem businesses are facing regarding data access?
Yes. So I'm just doing a demo. I'm actually on my show, and I wanted to show people how the interview process works. So I just wanted to give a quick example of the type of questions that you would ask for someone to be able to create content using this system. So I'm not going to answer that question right now, but I will come back and answer it later when I'm actually ready to complete the interview.
Okay, thanks for explaining that. Just showing the process with a demo makes sense. For the interview format, I typically start by exploring the core issue, then delve into specifics about data ownership, structural problems, and potential solutions. Questions would touch on the 75% data withholding mentioned in your brief, the business impact of this asymmetry, and alternative strategies. Would you like me to demonstrate more specific example questions, or is this overview sufficient for your demo?
This is good. Thank you. So I'm just going to
Okay,
hit
great.
save and exit and then come back to it and finish it later. So it's really pulls out of you things that you wouldn't even think about, because it's just going to ask you the questions and you can have a real conversation. You can even tell it, hey, I need to come back to this because something came up, and then you can come back to it and finish it, and it will create content for you. The cool thing is you can create longer pieces of content and then have that broken down into smaller pieces of content, just from the dashboard. And you can also select things to give it so that it can create content around. So if you see a YouTube video, you can drop that in there, and then it'll create an article and ask you questions based on that, so it can get your take, your view on the content that you suggested. This is really, really good. It's really, really different than what most people are using. And then it even has this AI twin. Now watch this, because when we talk about creating content, a lot of people think about having AI write stuff for you, and then you have to go try to make it sound like you. This actually will start to learn you, and you are different parts, different pieces, and this brings those into its system so that it can write like you. So check this out. It'll bring in, your identity and your emotion, your proof points of evidence, your relationship, influence, your gaps and tension. Like, it brings all of these things in there. And so these are all the things that make up you. So when it writes, it pulls from the things that it knows from really you, and it's called your twin. And you can then now train your twin. So the more you use it, the more your twin learns you and can write and respond as if you. And the cool thing that I want to share with you guys is that in the very near future, you will be able to connect this to other AIs like your ChatGPT or your Claude through MCP, and it'll be able to then respond as you as well. So this is something that has a lot of potential, and people are using it now, and I highly recommend you check out Press Master AI. It is one of the cool tools that I recommend you use. Hey man, what'd you think of that?
Yeah, it's good, man. It's fascinating how far we've come in terms of the technology that you can start interviewing yourself to create content.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, I'm really excited about this one. I had my eye on it for a long time, and it's just something that I think a lot of people should, not a lot of people, but those who are wanting to be influencers and influence over their market, to become a thought leader. This allows you to do that, and this AI takes along different ways to do it by giving you like a researcher and someone to interview you, and then put that content together in a way that only you could write that article, and it'll pull it out of you. So it's really, really good. I really, really like it. So
Yeah,
I think that it's also important of how it works, because it actually works the way the mind works. Um, it goes into um, how these connections, your mind has all these connections, and how it can keep all these connections, and how your mind works. So I think that it's something that is very different than a lot of things out there. I think it's very powerful. And I think that when you understand how those different connections work, because we're all unique, it can pull out very similar, unique patterns to how you think and how you process.
right. Definitely. It's a winner. I mean, I know we had used it because you sent me a link and it interviewed me, and it was a little bit shocking at first. It took a second. If you weren't used to it, it's like, oh wow, this is different. Um, and how it responds. Yeah, it's just. I mean, it's weird for some of us who this was only science fiction a few years ago.
Yep.
It's like getting adjusted to it. It's kind of like, man, this is fascinating.
Yep. Cool. Well, listen, man, I'm excited about our next topic. We have the Mindset Minute. It is one of my favorite topics. I love it. It gets me motivated every single time. So I'm excited to hear what you're going to share with us. So everybody get ready, put your hands together for the Mindset Minute.
That's right, folks. We are back together again for another Mindset Minute. And this week, this time, I want to talk to you about a book that I just finished called Man's Search for Meaning, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Now, this is not a new book. This is a book that's been around for years. It's one of those classics. And I had heard about it. I have had it for a long time. And, one of those things you've been putting on the shelf is like, I gotta get to reading this. So I finally got to the book, was able to finish it, and I highly recommend, if you haven't read this book, you do take a look at it. Man's Search for Meaning, and there were a couple things that I was surprised by. I didn't know a lot about how the storyline was going to be constructed. I knew that the book had to deal with life and suffering, but a lot of the book tells the story of this gentleman, Viktor Frankl, in his time surviving the concentration camps back in the Second World War. And he was in the concentration camps being held captive by the Nazis, and what that life experience was. That in itself was a whole learning experience. I'm not going to dive too deep into that, but what came out of that experience is what he's sharing in the book, what he learned about life, what he learned about how to survive in those challenging environments are the lessons that he's sharing in the book. And this book, I happened to finish it around the same time that we lost one of the pioneers, one of the tremendous leaders in the civil rights movement, Reverend Jesse Jackson. And these two things seem like they're diametrically, like, not even together. They're not even on the same map. So it's like, what are the things that connect these two together? And the thing that connected both of these events, what Jesse Jackson meant to me, and I was a young person when Jesse Jackson was running for president in 1984, 1988, and I remember hearing him speak at the Democratic conventions, and I remember how energized I was as a young person seeing this black man run for the office of the states, and just seeing myself in him. But there was something that Jesse talked about, which was hope. And hope was a pivotal thing that Viktor Frankl talked about in his book. He mentioned that people who lost hope ended up losing life in the camps. He mentioned that people who lost hope ended up getting sick in the camps. He mentioned how there was this connection between having something to live for and being able to sustain yourself, sustain your health, recover from the adversity, recover from the torture, recover from the torment. And in the book, he talks about how life, we're really driven by three things, which is work, love, and suffering. And what he means by that is, if we have something to do, we have a purpose, we have a task, it drives us. If we have love, connection with people, if it drives us. And if we can find meaning within the things that we are experiencing, suffering. And he connects that life and suffering go hand in hand. Now, it doesn't mean that your life is going to be terrible, that every moment in life is going to be bad, but there are things that you're going to experience in life that aren't always pleasant. There are things you're going to experience in life that aren't always fun. There are things that you're going to experience in life that's going to knock the wind out of your sails. So if you can learn how to maintain a high level of positive attitude in the midst of all the suffering, then you can fight and bounce back faster from situations. So he mentions that there is meaning, and we should be able to look for or find ways to extract meaning from the suffering. But this idea of hope, Jesse Jackson would say, keep hope alive. And when I think about that in connection with Viktor Frankl's book, a lot of people were able to survive the camps that he talked about, himself specifically. They were able to survive all of this torment, torture, punishment, things that are on, when you read or listen to him talk, some of it, it's like I couldn't even imagine what they were going through. It's so beyond my level of comprehension. But hope kept them going. Hope in something. For some people, it was hope that they could reconnect with a family member. For some people, it was hope to finish work they were building. Viktor had a book that he was trying to write, or that he was writing. and he was driven to finish some of that work that he had put together. There was something in the future that was keeping them going every single day, that was keeping them, driving them, moving them forward. So in your life, the question I have for you is, what are you hopeful for? Where is your hope? Like, what do you do? What do you look for? Where do you find hope? And hope is something that all of us need as a driver. Now, I'm not a big fan of what I would call hope theory, where people just hope things are going to work out or hope things will fall into place. That's not the type of hope that I'm talking about. What I'm thinking about is the hope that's the driver for a better tomorrow, the hope that's the driver of something that you're planning for. So when I think of hope, I think of holding on to purpose every single day. That's right. Catch that, catch that, catch that. I think of holding on to purpose every day. So my hope is the purpose that I have to make someone's life better. The purpose that I have to make sure that my children are reaching their goals and reaching their dreams. The purpose that I have in order to build my business to the ultimate level, to build the lifestyle that I want. So your purpose and your hope are connected together. So my hope is based off of the driving dreams, the purpose, the work that I do every single day. So I'm holding on to my purpose day as a reason why I get up, do the work, put in, deal with the suffering, and I continue to do it with a smile on my face. So, as Jesse would say, keep hope alive. Keep that purpose, the purpose that you have for being here today, the purpose you have for being on this planet, the purpose that you have for waking up each morning and striving and going from striving to thriving. That's what you want to hold on to, because all of us are going to go through tough times. We're going to experience things that aren't always pleasant. So if you could find ways to still look for those hopeful moments to drive you into the future, you can make it through anything. That's what Victor was talking about in his book. He was saying that as human beings, we can overcome so much, even things that are unimaginable, if we can hold on to the hope, if we can keep the hope alive, if we can hold on to purpose every single day. So, what is your purpose? Why are you here? The worst thing that you can do is not find out the reason that you were put on this planet, the reason that you were born. Because a lot of people go to the graveyard. I think it was Miles Monroe that said the richest place on the planet is the graveyard. Because people go with their purpose and their dreams still buried inside because they did not find the hope to go out there and deal with the discomfort. Because in order to live your dream, in order to work out your purpose, in order to act on purpose, sometimes you got to get out your comfort zone. And that's what happened for me. I didn't grow up thinking I was going to be a speaker, a public speaker, talk to people for a living. I was more of a quiet, reserved person. I used to get nervous and get scared being in front of the room. And I hate when the teacher would call you and ask you to speak in stuff and read in class. Like I used to hate elementary school to read out loud in front of my classmates. So at some point I had to learn how to get over that fear. So hope will help you get out of the comfort zone, holding on to that purpose, but you first have to establish what the purpose is. Now that could be a whole nother conversation later. But today I want you to think about hope and you holding on to something that will drive you. Because what Viktor Frankl said, I believe it was if he mentioned in his book, I forget who actually said it, blah, 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 so I don't want to misquote it, but he said that one of a previous, it was like either Confucius or some psychologist said that if the why is there, if you have a why for something, then the how doesn't matter. You'll figure out a way. If the why is strong enough, you'll figure out a way to make it happen. So that, folks, is your mindset minute for today. Hold on to purpose every day.
That was awesome, bro. Oh man. Yeah, listen, if you guys aren't getting this motivation, this mindset moment, man, to help you just fine tune, pick out those little things that can give you a little edge. Jerry just dropped another one, and I'm excited, man, about being able to have these tools to be able to use, because just like you said, we are all going to go through some tough times. And it's the reminder that I think is just powerful, that we can hold on to the purpose. Um, yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for your
Yeah, man.
yeah.
Now we gotta find something as human beings. Our happiness comes from certain things. One is finding something to do with yourself, finding someone that's going to love you, and finding ways to bounce back when times get tough.
Yes, sir.
So that's what the book. If you haven't read the book, I highly recommend you read it. Man's Search for Meaning. And when they say man, it means the universal term man, not just males, but you know, uh, mankind. So we're all out here trying to find what is that meaning for life. And this book and his theories give some very interesting concepts on that. So highly recommend it. It's an old book, but you can find it anywhere. Man's Search for Meaning. That there is liberation after the suffering.
Yes, sir. Well, listen, that was awesome. And make sure you tune in every Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for Technology Tuesday. Thank you for joining us, and make sure you leave us a comment. Let us know where you're tuning in from. If you join us live, hashtag live, and where you're tuning in from. And if you're catching us on the replay, hashtag replay, and let us know where you're tuning in from. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you join us next Tuesday for another exciting episode of Technology Tuesday. Talk to you guys soon. Take care.